Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite talk show, Bahrain Now. With me, your host, Bara Abdallah. We've got a great show lined up full of local talents, initiatives, and happenings from around the island. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. On to a next segment. Our next guest uses something called air dry clay to create beautiful handmade accessories and pieces. Alisa, founder of Adalia. Well, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Now, I'm sure I mispronounced that word.
Yes. Adalia.
Adalia.
Yes.
You see, thing is, my Bahraini brain sometimes takes over. It's Adalia and not the Adalia place that we know about.
No, yes.
So what is Adalia?
Adalia actually we got its name from, it means to draw water. So from the material that I'm using, since it's an air dry clay, it takes 24 hours for all the water to evaporate, and then it makes this hard figure. And then with that, we got the name.
Adalia.
Adalia,
Is
to
it
draw water.
From which language? Roots?
Not familiar.
It sounds Latin, I would say, maybe. Everything goes back to Latin or Greek, right? So it could be either Greek or Latin at this point. But I love Adalia. Could be a name I would name my daughter in the future, hopefully. You never know. Adalia. Let's go with that.
Well, I'll give sponsor earrings to your daughter.
She's going to be named Adalia. That's for sure. So tell us more about air dry clay. Yeah.
Yes, actually I'm using two types of air dry clay. One is commercial that you can buy from art shops here in Bahrain. Like they have this pack of air dry clay that you can use to mold and sculpt furnitures or table pieces like these ones.
Okay. Wow. I mean, me and the producer and some other team members as well, Bahrain Now, just like saw this and they thought they were plastic. It's like, made and all that. But it's like, no, guys, this is actually clay. It's like, what? It's handmade.
Yes. That's actually our selling point. It's as dry as air. As light as air.
As light as air.
You can try.
Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. There is no weight to it at all.
Yes, it's like dangling, but it's not heavy.
There is no, it's air. I'm touching air. Air. This is air. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
What got you interested in this art?
I'm doing modeling.
Okay.
It's a side hustle and a hobby because I like photography. And I find it difficult to find accessories to match my outfit for a certain look. Because mostly in Bahrain, if you go out, you find gold pieces as accessories.
Right.
Yeah, so if you want to have street get up or just a casual get up, a gold doesn't match that outfit. So I decided, why don't I make my own accessories?
Smart, smart. I just love the concept. It's beautiful, it's colorful, and you can do whatever you want to do.
Yes, that's a good thing about it.
So how long does it take you to get one of the accessories done or one of the pieces dried?
Well, an actual piece takes around 2 to 3 days to finish. 24 hours for drying it up, and thicker pieces like this one takes 1.5 to 2 days.
Okay.
And then once it's dried up, I start doing the polishing, and then after that, assembling. That's my favorite part. You're almost there. You see the final piece.
So
and then packaging.
Are you doing it all by yourself or you have some help?
I'm doing it by myself, but I have assistance with my sister.
Well, big shout out to your sister. Her name is?
Ariel.
Ariel.
She's a fine art student, so she's helping me mix the colors and the designs.
Well, thank you, Ariel, for doing that. Much appreciated. So now you're focusing more on accessories and pieces. What about house accessories? Did we go there yet?
Well, actually, it's the first time I'm launching this to public. It's not shown to the Instagram account.
All right.
These candle holders and tiny vases.
Thank you so much. We got the exclusive showcasing of your products. Oh, wow. We got the premiere right here. Love that. So you got candles, you got the vases. So you're starting with this first.
Yes.
Any future plans? You want to expand more than this?
I'm thinking about doing an incense holder.
Okay.
With a twist, of course.
Twist.
Yes, but that twist remains to be seen.
Okay. You want to tease us? I love that. I love that. So how long have you been doing this for?
I started it November last year. So it's gonna be a year from now in like a few days, and we're thinking of like getting brand ambassadors or like influencers to like expand the market of the product.
It's amazing how Corona brought out a lot of talents.
Yes, definitely.
It's just the necessities, like, okay, now certain income is not coming in, we have to create our own income, and just all this time we have to create something new, and now you have this.
Yes.
This is amazing. You pretty much
you.
The only thing I gained is weight during Corona, but you gained talent.
Thank you so
I love
much.
that. I love that. All right, so this is happening. You want to expand. You're being a model on the side as well, so you have pretty much of a good hustle taking place. Your sister is doing fine arts. So now, where do you want to see yourself with this? You want to like open your own franchise?
For now, the next step with Adalia is creating our own cutters, because I started from cookie cutters, the one you can buy from a grocery store.
Okay.
Yes, and then I want to start designing the own cutters, because there's no supplier here in Bahrain for the cutters. So maybe, and I can do like a DIY kit for those people who want to try making their own designs. Okay,
that's amazing. That's amazing. So you're gonna customize your own cutters. You want to go through those. You want to have fun with that. I know you have the accessories. So far, how was the reception for your products?
It's actually not that good right now, especially that people are wearing masks, and especially with eyeglasses and then earpods. Earrings is additional accessory to the ear. So we're trying to make it more diverse by doing hair pins and table accessories.
Love that. I love that. And you keep always think outside the box, and I love that. I love that. Now, since last year in November, right? You came up, you got this interest. What sparked you? How you came up with the idea of actually pretty much do the air dry clay? I mean, is something you saw before, or how did it get you pretty much sparked or inspired?
I want to have something of my own craft, and like when lockdown happened, there's not much to do things at home, and I don't like to keep watching on Netflix and TV. So this craft, clay earrings, clay accessories have been the start of this industry, and then I decided, why don't I learn how to make this? It's a challenge at first, because there's no shop here in Bahrain that sells polymer clay. That's the original material for this. And then I learned that you can make your own at home with some homemade recipes. That's what make the accessories, and for the commercial clay, the table pieces.
How do you make these happen? Like, do you manually just take like a tip or a little needle and you keep just sculpturing? I mean, how do you do this?
Like circles like this one, I use cookie cutters.
Okay, so still we're using the cookie
make
cutters.
The perfect circle.
That is very smart.
And then, for example, like circles like this ones, I use a pasta maker.
Smart. Pasta maker for that.
Yes.
Wow, you gave out your secrets.
They don't know the recipe. That's why they need to buy the DIY kit.
Okay. Do you have that pretty much going, the DIY kit?
I'm still thinking about ways to package it, since it's air dry clay.
Okay.
Should be airtight.
Okay. Well, because I would like to have one for me and my daughter and my son, and just spend time at home and creating our own shapes in air dry clay, and then send you pictures of how horrible they look.
Thank you. I'll send you as soon as we thought about how we package it.
Okay. Well, I am super excited about this. I can see great potential in it. You could
Thank
be even
you.
on Shark Tank. You never know. Because like, what do you have? Air dry clay. Sold. Let's go with that. So, any last words to your viewers, you know, about what you're doing and how you kept yourself going with these challenges?
I started with this just last year, and learning is something that everyone can do anytime. Even when they are young or old, you can learn something that you're passionate about, and you can be good at it in just days, months, or weeks, as long as the dedication is there.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for these words, Elisa. I really appreciate this, and I can't wait for me and my daughter and my son to get our hands on the DIY kit, because it's going to be lots of fun. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, definitely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, dedication and more dedication, all that took place with the air dry clay art of Adalia. All that here on Bahrain Now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be an exciting one right now, as tonight in the studio we have Sarah Tastes, who is a food journalist who will be talking to us about her journey, and a food writer, restaurant critique. So good evening, Sarah. How are you?
Good evening. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure. There is a lot going on here because, you know, now we are used to food bloggers, you know, on social media. So, oh, this is beautiful, this is not, this is my experience. So they would blog their own experience. But a food journalist, I mean, I'm loving the sound of it, definitely. So tell us more about your journey.
So my background is in journalism, and initially when I started, I was focused on lifestyle and travel. But as you know, during the early stages of the pandemic, everyone was sitting at home and eating a lot of food, as was I. But I found that I was documenting what I was eating just to pass the time.
Okay.
But as time went on, I found that that was something I could envision myself doing professionally.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I really just threw myself into that.
Did you see yourself, like, I would say, naturally just documenting what you were eating, or you just felt like, oh, I need to document this?
I mean, I felt like I was eating so much, and
not as much as me. I mean, you can't beat me. I'm sorry.
And actually, my dad had gifted me the iPhone 12 at that time. I was like, I have to make very good use of it. And that's why I started taking the photos. And the photos just looked so good, I had to put it out there. It couldn't be hidden from the public.
Wow, wow. So you took journalism, and pretty much you studied that, but what's your connection to food? I mean, because you took it a little bit to more, I wouldn't say academic, but I think more professional than others. So what was your background when it comes to food?
So basically what happened was I was sitting down to have dinner with my family one day, and my dad started talking about the different flavor profiles and what was different about the dishes. And I was like, wow, like I never really thought about it in that way. And I definitely credit my taste buds and perception to my dad, because since that day, I haven't looked at food the same way. Now I'm just thinking about what, like, pros and cons of the dish, or like what's so special or what's not so special about it. And bearing that in mind, I decided that I wanted to know the accurate way to comment on food, which is when I decided to get my certification from Le Cordon Bleu.
Wow, you really went for it, definitely. So how do you feel about it right now, Pimas, becoming a food journalist, you know, writing about restaurants? I wouldn't say putting much of a critique point to it, but more of an experience. So how do you pretty much differentiate yourself from a food blogger?
Well, the writing is pretty different. I feel like food bloggers just state their experience.
Right.
But in food journalism, you're not just talking about the food. There's so much more. It's the story behind the food. It's the chefs, the kitchen, the restaurant, the entire experience as a whole.
Wow.
You're basically looking at everything.
Wow. You see, I'm just fascinated with what you're doing right now. I think you are the first, maybe the only food journalist we ever came across here on this show. We are so honored to have you here. Please stay.
I'd love to.
Definitely. I mean, have you ever thought of like having your own maybe blog or magazine, something like that? I mean, do you write for somebody right now?
Right now I'm writing for myself, as you know, through my page, Sarah
Right.
Taste. I do write on Medium occasionally when I find that there's something I really want to write about,
Okay.
but mostly it's just on Instagram.
Khalid Hijras, pretty much, sending me some of your stuff, and I'm like, she can write.
Oh, thanks.
Your writing is so amazing.
Thank you very much.
How you structure your sentences and all of them, like, it's like you're taking me in a tour through your writing skills, and at the same time making me feel like I know the restaurant now.
That makes me feel so good because food writing, like any other art, as you know, has its difficulties, and one of those being writer's block. It's not always easy to talk about your subject in a manner that's accurate to your first-hand experience, and at the same time something that appeals to a wider audience. So bearing all of that in mind, it's really difficult to get that out there and have someone be interested in what you have to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Wow. You know, I can only imagine, like, for example, even though I'm just a consumer at this point, right? But it's not easy for me to, I mean, yes, of course, we can tell the difference between different tastes and cuisines and food. But for you right now, when you go to a restaurant, and let's say you go for sushi, and then second day you go for Mexican food, and then you go for, I would say, a Bahraini cuisine. Now, is it easy for you to differentiate how you're going to explain and express each cuisine differently, or sometimes there can be a challenge?
It depends on a couple of things. For me, it's the flavor profiles, the temperature of the food, the level of your hunger, because, you know, when you're hungry, just about anything tastes good.
Right, right.
So these are the three most important things to look at. And of course, the quality of presentation, because no one wants to eat something that doesn't look good.
Well, when I'm hungry, I'm just...
Yeah, you're like, give it to me.
Do you favor certain, I would say, flavors, certain cuisines over others?
I'm not going to be partial. I do quite like Japanese and Italian. Those are my favorite. But I'm also partial to Mexican sometimes.
Okay.
Depends
and
on...
What do you recommend? If it's okay for you, just to let us know about what's happening here with Bahrain with Mexican food.
With Mexican food, there are a couple of food trucks that do it really good.
Okay.
I won't mention any names because I'm just... but if you're asking in terms of restaurants, definitely go to Sato's for Japanese. Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Every Sunday Mania? Every last Sunday of each month?
Yeah, that's right.
I used to go there all the time.
And Tuesdays for the ladies.
Oh, okay, I did not know about that. Now I feel a little bit
Women empowerment.
I love that. I used to work for the Japanese embassy, so
wow.
Like going to Sato was a thing for me over there. They perfect when it comes to maki and sushi.
They are. I was just there actually. They invited a French-Japanese chef, Chef Walter.
Oh.
And I tried out his new menu, which was basically French culinary with Japanese influence.
What?
It was really good, yeah.
I've never saw that. I mean, unfortunately, I never tried French cuisine ever in my life. So to hear this, like you got French food that is a mix of two cultures?
That's right, because he himself is part French and part Japanese.
Okay.
So he took both of his cultures and decided to infuse it into his food.
Is he still around?
He actually just left yesterday.
Oh, man. And I got to hear about that in an interview. So now, here's a good example, actually. So when you go to that kind of experience, and then now it's time for you to write it down, do you see yourself, you have to put two cultures together in your writing?
Well, like I said, I look at the three main things, which was the flavor profile, the temperature, and the presentation.
Right.
Leaving aside how hungry I was. And then I start to talk about the experience, because I feel like with food, emotion is involved as well. Like it could be like a childhood memory or something that just like is triggered by a certain flavor or a certain spice. And that's what I try to talk about in my writing. It's more than just, oh yes, that was good, because it obviously was.
Wow.
But just going beyond that to explain like what I want my readers to think, wow, I can really taste it through the words.
Oh, wow. Actually, you made me do that. Actually, it made me feel that. It's like I kind of understand the restaurant, and I kind of like, I don't know how you do this, but mentally, I think I understand the taste as well.
Exactly.
Again, you're super talented with your words and
Thank
how you
you.
weave them together, bringing this beautiful dish of a paragraph, I guess. At this point, it's amazing. You know, what I hope one day will happen, you know, all these chef movies, whether it's Ratatouille or other movies I forgot about, is that maybe one day you're gonna have the lead role of being an awesome critique.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, in a movie. Have you ever thought of that one day?
I would be lying if I said the thought didn't cross my mind. I'm taking it one step at a time.
Well, we actually interviewed different filmmakers here. We're gonna make you pretty much, hopefully one day have an audition. It's like, you don't need an audition, just take her.
They'll watch this interview and they'll definitely hire me.
Let's go. Wow, that is amazing. So what are the future plans?
Well, I have some collaborations and upcoming projects that I'm really excited about. I also really hope to network and collaborate with more brands and restaurants, both locally and internationally. So that's my plan right now.
Wow. One thing we'd like to know before we even wrap it up is your experience between, London and Bahrain.
Right.
Yeah.
So are we talking in terms of critique?
Well, whatever you feel like.
So London, because it's a lot larger, there's a lot more niche concepts,
Right.
which means that there's a lot more to critique in terms of the restaurant experience. Whereas in Bahrain, our restaurants are more specialized, which means we can focus on the quality of the food, because let's face it, the quality of our food is great. But over the past 2 years, we've had a lot of pop-up concepts and food
Right.
trucks coming our way, and I think we're slowly tapping into more niche markets now as well. We're doing really great.
Amazing. I love that. Spoke like a true journalist. I love that. I mean, I think the thing is, when I read what you had to express or your thoughts about your visits to different restaurants and trying different kind of foods and dishes, I feel smarter somehow. It's like, okay, what's that word again? It's that you make us really feel what you're going through. And again, the way you weave your words together, it comes together to a beautiful paragraph that makes us really go through the experience itself. So we do really appreciate your work.
Thank you.
Definitely.
That is what I hope to achieve through my page. So that's really nice for me to hear.
Well, it's not only me, I'm sure even other people who've been going through the same experience. Maybe they just did not express it to you openly.
Oh, well, I'm really grateful.
Well, it's definitely a great pleasure. Any last words to your viewers?
Well, I'm just really grateful for the amount of support I've received. I just want to say big thanks to my family, my friends, and of course my followers. And I can't forget wonderful bloggers like Bahrain Foodie who really helped me at the start of my journey. I hope everyone continues to enjoy my content, and I'm always open to hear suggestions.
Amazing, definitely. Well, thank you so much for being with us right here on Bahrain Now, and we can't wait to see your future adventures.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Much appreciated. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as today we learned the difference between a food blogger and a food journalist. All that took place right here with Sarah Tastes on Bahrain Now.
Nasser Vocational Training Center, or NVTC, is a unique educational institution that provides quality education to Bahraini nationals and being a standard of leadership and prepare them to contribute to the social and economic development of the Kingdom of Bahrain.
My name is Ibrahim Saleh Al-Amri. I'm a student in Nasser Vocational Training Center, and we study here in workshop 2, which is workshop for welding. And we're a student here learning 3 types of welding, which is Ma welding, Ikta welding, and Fka welding. And we are proud of ourselves that we are learning in hands of Bahrainis instructors. And we are proud that we are the first school in Bahrain that have the simulator device for welding.
This workshop is split into 2. So we have the pneumatic side and the hydraulic side. The pneumatics is compressed air, and the hydraulic, since it's not compressible, it's used for heavy machinery or equipment. What I like about this workshop, because it's basically one of the few institutes in Bahrain that has pneumatics and hydraulics in their school. And something else I like about the school is because they don't just focus on knowledge or practical, they focus on both. So they teach us knowledge first with safety, and then we go through with it with practical work. If anyone would like to join the school, it's a very nice school. I really like my time here.
Tell me and I'll forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me, I'll learn. That's the philosophy of NVTC, learning by doing, through the provision of an educational and vocational alternative for young Bahrainis. The center implements the most modern programs and curricula, which meet the requirements of modern and advanced education.
What makes the NVTC special is about it's about the staff, the specialist staff, the well-trained staff, that they can deliver the right knowledge to the youth people. They make them more intellect. Some of the subjects that comes from, basically it is established from NVTC, which helps them to be more independent. And when they talk about things, they got, for example, to get the considerations, is it really worth it to be done? What things, that makes them more intellect. They are more in design, for example. When you are going to design something, you got to put some considerations that you can come up with something real and fact, that you can make some real change. It's not like the other traditional way of teaching. So they make them more intellect and more creative to come up with something new and something special. And also we are working with the ECITP, which is awarding body. They are from UK, and as well as the NVTC has they have their own standards also to come up with a special curriculum and materials for the students, basically. Yeah.
Welcome to NVTC. I'm proud to let you know that our institution is the best in Bahrain. Gives the students opportunities in 3 areas: to start their own business, to enter university, or indeed to enter the workplace. We're also supported here by some passionate teachers that deliver their standard, and we are student focused. And we simply like to see our students achieve. We don't only end our educational training at this side of the gate. Beyond the gate, we want to know how they achieve in society. Our standards are supported not only by ourselves, they're supported by ECITB. We're an approved UK body, and these are backed up by passionate people and the centre. Our management team has a visionary view of the future and how we open up this centre to the world, not only to Bahrain or GCC countries, but indeed to the world. So that's the future. Bring your student to us, and I make this promise to you that we will change your student and deliver them a better future.
Today, with grade 10, we will have experiment about burning food samples, different food samples. We will burn them and calculate what the energy will be released from each sample. They will use different food samples like chips, potato chips, and they will use peanuts. We will use also popcorn, and each group will find exactly what is the energy released from each sample by measuring the temperature before and after burning the food sample.
Vocational educational programs have made a real difference in the lives of countless young people nationwide. They build self-confidence and leadership skills by allowing students to utilize their unique gifts and talents. We're proud to have this kind of center here in Bahrain. Reporting Bahrain International TV, I'm Walid Al-Liblushi. Thank you for watching.
Windows of Amal, founded by Noura Al Ghatam, is an initiative that focuses on supporting the creative sector in Bahrain and the region through a digital platform, art exhibitions, and events that focus on entrepreneurship and personal growth for creatives. The first art exhibition, entitled Personal Journeys During Social Distancing, took place on Sunday, October 10, 2021, in collaboration with the University of Bahrain.
First of all, this is a wonderful initiative, Amal Gaze, an art exhibition that's taking place at the University of Bahrain. With the participation of about 16 female artists that have done their work during the pandemic, expressing their emotions and expressing their feelings. And this is taking place also observing all the precautions, so that's very important for us. But also this is also to say that normal life on campus is going back, inshallah, to normal. I'm very happy for this initiative to take place at the University of Bahrain, and I really enjoyed looking and meeting these artists and looking at their beautiful art.
This exhibition focused on personal growth and positive mindsets during the pandemic and included 16 artists and 26 beautiful art pieces.
The Windows of Amal initiative is basically a platform that focuses on supporting the creative sector in Bahrain and the region through an online platform where artists can communicate with each other through art exhibitions and through events that focus on entrepreneurship and professional and personal development. It started in August 2020. Basically, I was indoors, but as everyone was during that time. And I was looking outside the window and I was imagining a better future. And that's how the name Windows of Amal came to me. So we thought, why not create art exhibitions and a book publication, an online platform to depict personal journeys of positivity and personal growth during this period. What's interesting is that we had one artist with us from the United Kingdom who actually mailed us her art and appears digitally on the screen to explain her art. And also I want to talk a little bit about the curators. So we've had curators from the UK. So for example, we've had the artist Nancy Cadigan join us as a curator, whose exhibition is voted as one of the best 100 exhibitions 2019. So she helped us select the art. We also had the deputy editor of Art Bazaar, one of the most renowned art magazines in the region, also join us in the curating process, along with our Bahraini team. So it really was an interesting collaboration, all about how to stay positive and grow during social distancing. So we're expecting a lot of more interesting events, inshallah, soon.
Reporting for Bahrain International, I'm Mariam Al-Bayati. Thank you for watching.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for another great episode of Bahrain Now. As usual, be sure to reach out to us on our social media accounts shown below and stay tuned for more exciting segments on Bahrain Now. This was Bara Abdallah. Till next time, Bahrain, good night and God bless.